The world's most famous luxury watch brand once struggled to survive. That the symbol of timeless perfection, the name everyone whispers when they talk about wealth, almost vanished because of one simple mistake. From a tiny dream in London's crowded streets to becoming a billion-dollar empire worn by kings, presidents, and icons, this is not just the story of a watch. In the early 1900s, luxury watches were all about pocket prestige. Wristwatches. They were considered feminine, fragile, and impractical for men. But a 24-year-old named Hans Wilsdorf thought differently. Born in Germany and working in London, he had a simple but revolutionary vision: to make wristwatches not just stylish, but precisely reliable. He didn't have a factory, he didn't have investors. What he had was belief and a partnership. In 1905, he and Alfred Davis founded Wilsdorf and Davis, a small watch distribution company importing Swiss movements. Their goal was to change how the world wore time. But here's the twist. The name Rolex wasn't even born yet. Wilsdorf wanted a short, memorable name that sounded elegant in any language, something that rolled off the tongue like fine champagne. And in 1908, Rolex was officially registered in Switzerland. That single decision, a name that felt like luxury, became the foundation of one of the most powerful brands in history. Then came World War I. For most companies, it was a disaster. But for Rolex, it was a breakthrough. Soldiers needed reliable watches on the battlefield, not pocket watches. Rolex saw opportunity in chaos. Wilsdorf focused on making durable, precise, waterproof wristwatches that could withstand the mud and shock of war. This move completely changed the game. Wristwatches became symbols of strength, not weakness. Rolex didn't just adapt, it redefined masculinity through time. But success didn't come without pain. In 1915, new British import taxes on luxury goods nearly destroyed Wilsdorf's business. Instead of folding, he moved operations to Geneva, the heart of Swiss watchmaking. That decision was bold, risky, and visionary, because Geneva wasn't just a new location, it was Rolex's rebirth. While competitors chased beauty, Rolex chased perfection. In 1926, they launched the Rolex Oyster, the world's first truly waterproof watch. The concept sounded impossible at the time. No one believed a sealed wristwatch could survive under pressure. So, how did Wilsdorf prove it? With marketing genius. He gave a Rolex Oyster to Mercedes Gleitze, a British swimmer who attempted to cross the English Channel. When she completed the swim, after 10 long hours, her watch was still ticking perfectly. Newspapers went wild. Rolex didn't just sell a product. It sold a proof of excellence. That was the first major example of Rolex's strategy. Don't just tell people your brand is great, show them. Even giants stumble. In the 1930s and 1940s, Rolex faced production shortages and financial strain due to global conflicts. Competitors like Omega and Longines were gaining ground. Wilsdorf's perfectionist approach sometimes delayed launches, costing millions. But instead of chasing volume, he doubled down on scarcity. Rolex turned delay into desire. They released fewer watches, built with obsessive attention to detail. Waiting for a Rolex became part of the brand's mystique. Then came another masterstroke, the Rolex Perpetual in 1931, the first self-winding wristwatch. No manual winding, no fuss, just effortless precision. This innovation didn't just transform watchmaking, it cemented Rolex as the future of luxury engineering. By the 1950s, Rolex wasn't just a brand, it was a lifestyle. The Submariner, GMT Master, and Day Date turned into cultural icons. Pilots, explorers, and movie stars all wore them. Rolex wasn't advertising anymore, it was documenting history. When Sir Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest in 1953, a Rolex went with him. When James Bond appeared on screen in the 60s, he wore one too. The message was clear. If you achieve greatness, you wear Rolex. But here's where it gets even smarter. Rolex never paid celebrities to wear their watches. Their marketing was built on authenticity. If a legend wore a Rolex, it was because they chose to. That strategy gave Rolex something even money can't buy: credibility. Behind the glamour, Rolex runs like a secretive fortress. It's not publicly traded. There are no shareholders demanding profits every quarter. The entire company is owned by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, a private trust. This structure means Rolex reinvests most of its profit into innovation, craftsmanship, and charity, not into dividends. It's a hidden advantage in the business world. While others chase trends, Rolex focuses on legacy. And that's exactly why, even today, Rolex dominates with over 25% of the global luxury watch market, selling more than 1.2 million watches annually, yet always keeping demand higher than supply. That imbalance, the deliberate shortage, keeps prices high, resale values stronger than gold, and mystique alive. As the decades passed, Rolex learned something no luxury textbook could teach. The less available you are, the more people want you. Instead of meeting demand, Rolex deliberately stayed limited. Waiting lists became legends. People didn't just buy a Rolex, they earned it. This wasn't just marketing, it was psychology. A Rolex didn't scream luxury, it whispered it. You couldn't just walk in and grab one. You had to wait, dream, and sometimes even prove you were worthy to get it. Rolex had mastered what economists call controlled scarcity, when limited supply becomes the gatekeeper of prestige. It worked so well that even billionaires now wait months, sometimes years, to get their hands on one. That exclusivity turned Rolex from a watch brand into cultural currency. Then came the 1970s, the era that nearly killed Swiss watchmaking. Cheap, battery-powered quartz watches from Japan flooded the market. Brands like Seiko offered watches that were more accurate and 10 times cheaper. Hundreds of traditional watchmakers collapsed. The Swiss empire began to crumble, but Rolex didn't panic. While competitors scrambled to make digital watches, Rolex doubled down on craftsmanship and identity. They refused to compromise quality for convenience. Instead of chasing trends, Rolex told a story, not of timekeeping, but of permanence in a disposable world. While quartz watches told the time, Rolex told a legacy. That philosophy saved them. By the 1980s, Rolex wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. Prices soared, and collectors began treating Rolex as an investment, not just an accessory. What once looked outdated had become eternal. Luxury isn't about need, it's about emotion. Rolex understood that long before marketing experts gave it a name. Their ads didn't brag about price or status, they spoke about achievement. A crown for every achievement wasn't just a slogan, it was a mindset. When someone bought a Rolex, they weren't buying a watch, they were celebrating a win, a promotion, a milestone, a dream realized. That emotional connection made Rolex untouchable. Psychologists call it emotional branding. Economists call it perceived value. Rolex calls it genius. Even today, while luxury brands rise and fall, Rolex stays timeless because it doesn't sell trends. It sells eternity. Fast forward to 2025. Rolex stands as one of the most profitable luxury brands on Earth, pulling in over $10 billion annually. Its resale prices often exceed retail, creating a global economy of collectors and dealers chasing the crown. The Daytona, Submariner, GMT Master II, and Datejust are no longer watches. They're icons. From Jay-Z and Brad Pitt to LeBron James and Roger Federer, Rolex is worn by achievers who see it as a symbol of success, not sponsorship. Even in an age dominated by Apple Watches, Rolex refuses to adapt to tech trends. It doesn't need features. It is the feature. The brand thrives on craftsmanship, secrecy, and precision. Every component is made in-house. Every dial inspected dozens of times. Nothing outsourced. Nothing rushed. That obsession with perfection is what keeps the crown shining. From a business view, Rolex teaches one rule: never trade legacy for speed. It faced wars, taxes, crises, and revolutions, yet never compromised on values. It built consistency where others built noise. That's the true rise of Rolex, not just as a brand, but as a blueprint of how precision, patience, and purpose can turn ambition into immortality. Crazy to think, right? A company that began in a small London office now defines what timeless luxury really means. Rolex didn't just make watches, it made history that still ticks. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new about the world's most powerful crown, hit like, share it with someone who loves success stories, and subscribe for more. Because sometimes, the best business lessons come from those who mastered time itself.